Hey, if you are considering buying a home this fall, then you are really going to watch this month's housing market report because the dog days of August seem to have come with a little bit of a late summer surprise, a drop in home mortgage interest rates. Yep. Many lenders around Minnesota today are posting rates below 6.5% on a 30-year fixed rate loan. And we haven't seen rates that low since, it's been almost a year, yeah. So now it's not a huge drop, but it could save you a couple $100 a month on your mortgage payment. It really could. So I'm going to talk about that more later in my August housing market report. Now, if you haven't met me yet, my name is Trout Lowen. I am a Minneapolis realtor and a bit of a real estate data nerd. And every month I break down the stats to see what's up, what's down, and what it means for Twin Cities home buyers and home sellers. Now, if you find this video helpful, I hope that you will hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have questions about what I'm talking about today or how it might impact your plans to buy or sell, put them in the chat below. I love to answer questions. So last month, I did not do a market report. Yeah, I was bad. I was changing real estate brokerages and things just got to be a little busy. But really, you didn't miss out that much. The Twin Cities housing market this summer is looking a lot like it did last summer. And that means it's kind of stable and kind of predictable. And that is not a bad thing. So let's take a quick look at what's been happening. In the 7-county Twin Cities metro, the number of new home listings tends to peak in May, and then it kind of drops slowly through the summer, and the summer is right on that pattern. New listings peaked in May at 5,923, then dropped off in June. We saw a little bump in July, but nothing significant. Year over year though, new listings in July were up about 4.4% from last year, and that is good news. Last year was tight. When we look at new listings by price though, we are going to see that in the most affordable category, homes for sale under $300,000, we saw very little growth, either month to month or year over year. Where we did see growth, at least by percentage, is in the upper price brackets. New listings priced from $500,000 to $800,000 were up 8% from last year, and new listings priced above $800,000 grew by 12%. Now let's take a quick look at the total number of homes for sale. So that's the number of homes that were on the market plus the homes that came onto the market in July. So the number of new listings that comes to market, that's a bit of a measure of seller activity. But when we look at the total number of homes for sale, it's more of a measure of buyer activity. The total inventory of homes for sale in the metro has been growing slowly but steadily this year, which is also pretty typical, okay? As the year goes on, more homes come to market. Now the total inventory of homes for sale tends to peak in September and then drop off. In July, there were 8,148 homes for sale, which is almost exactly where we were at this time last year. And just for frame of reference, I like to remind people that back in 2015, there were 14,577 homes for sale in the metro in the same period of time. So we are really still looking at a pretty depressed inventory. And it's a good thing to keep that in mind because other markets around the country are starting to see a shift from a seller's market more toward a buyer market, but that's really not the case here. Now, homes were selling a little more slowly in July than they were last year. The median number of days to sale was 39 in July and 34 last year. That's a little more slowly, but nothing really to get too excited about. And you also got to consider that July was a month that was alternately rainy, smoky, and hot. And that really may have kept some buyers out of the market. The story's a little different depending on price. The total inventory of homes for sale priced under $300,000 grew by 10% year over year. That's the most growth in any price bracket. But if we dig a little bit deeper, it seems that most of that inventory growth is related to condo and townhome sales, which collectively grew more than 16% year over year. And as I've mentioned in previous market reports, condo and townhome sales are pretty sluggish. I'm not exactly sure why, but it may have to do with the significant building boom in apartments here in the metro in the last 5 years. Now, the total inventory of single-family homes for sale in that deeply affordable category, that under $300,000, that number actually was down 3.8% from last July. And the inventory of homes for sale was down 4% in the $300,000 to $500,000 category, and it was down about 4% again in the $500,000 to $700,000 category. Even in the luxury market, we just saw a little bit of growth, almost flat really, compared to 2024. So speaking of home prices, let's talk about home prices for a minute. Home prices remained pretty stable in July. The median sale price was $390,000, and that's unchanged from June and up about 3.7% from last year. The average home price rose about 4% to almost $471,000, and that's an increase of about $1,300 over June and about $10,000 over the first half of last year. Both the median and average sales prices are based on a 12-month average. So what are the key takeaways here? The Twin Cities is still a seller's market. The inventory for homes for sale is growing a little bit, but most of that growth is condos and townhomes priced under $300,000. Now, the inventory of deeply affordable single-family homes is actually down compared to last year, and the inventory is down or flat in all price brackets above $300,000. So homes were taking about 6 days longer to sell, but most sellers are still getting about 100% of their asking price. What will be interesting to watch is what impact, if any, lower mortgage interest rates are going to have on buyer activity in August. So to find out what happens in August, tune in next month for my September market update. In the meantime, if you have questions about your market or about your plans to buy or sell a home, go ahead and put them in the comments below, or go ahead and text me and email me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next month.